If there's one phrase to describe RuriDragon, it's probably slice of life with a twist. And yes, I'm aware that there are many manga that go under this category, and if there's another story I'd have to compare it with, I'd probably pick Bocchi the Rock, due to its similar vibe. But RuriDragon just resonates with me on a different level, and frankly, I've learned lessons from the manga's story, and there are some panels where the art has no business being this good. So, let's talk about the story and art of RuriDragon. RuriDragon, for those who don't know, began serialization on June 13th of 2022, and its author, Masaoki Shindo, has been publishing chapters ever since, except for the whole 2-year break from August of 2022 to March of 2024, where it was on indefinite hiatus due to the author's health. Fans were not only worried that their favorite manga may not come back, but also that one of their favorite mangaka may not be doing so well either. Luckily, Shindo's health has been previously confirmed to be doing well. RuriDragon is a story about a 15-year-old schoolgirl, Ruri Aoki, who, upon looking at her reflection in the mirror one morning, notices that she has horns. After asking her mum why they appeared, she casually lets her daughter know without batting an eyelid that she's part dragon. This scene in chapter 1 essentially sets the tone for the rest of the story. You would think that all the reveals in the story would be extravagant or jaw-dropping, but no. As the story progresses, Ruri and her friends discover her new dragon traits that she inherited from her father as they manifest randomly. Despite the casual overtone of the story and the characters in RuriDragon, Shindo still attempts to keep a dynamic narrative without the characters downplaying certain harder hitting moments that leave room for you to ponder. Check out the scene from chapter Thanks for Waiting, where Ruri and her other committee members are setting up for their school sports day, and she agreed to meet her friends at a restaurant. Don't bother sticking around for my sake if you're tight on time or something. Honestly, I don't know if I can even We'll see you right here. Doesn't matter if you're late, got it? I don't care what time it is. You do what you gotta do to make it here. Okay, but don't you guys have better things to do? Don't even worry about it. We already let our parents know where we are. I mean, the plan was to stay out pretty late anyway. Worst case, my big sis can drive us all home. We gotta seize these opportunities when we can, right? You catching up is an uphill battle. Yeah, but still, I know how it feels to fall behind in school, and it won't be long before the rest of us get way too busy with more school stuff. I mean, if you really can't make it, then it's all good. No, I got you, I'll be there. Sick, that's what I wanted to hear. We're only in high school once, so we gotta make the most of it. Here's the fastest route, Aoki. Sorry to make you wait for me. To be honest, I don't want to hear you keep saying sorry when you actually mean thanks. Even though they've got their own lives, why would they go out of their way just to help me? Gah, a delay? What now? Can I still make it? Ugh, everything's falling apart right at the finish line. Hello? Kashiro? Train's delayed. Gonna take me a little longer. I hope that's okay. No worries. We're here waiting for you. I feel a little less guilty after hearing her say that, but I think I don't deserve that. But I fell so far behind at school. A whole week's worth of lessons. I mean, I'll never figure out how to fill in that gap, but still, they're waiting for me. I can't just leave them hanging. Hey, look who finally made it. I know I'm really late and thanks. Thanks for waiting. Glad you're here. This whole scene filled me with the emotions born from the urgency that Ruri must have had, knowing that all of her friends were waiting on her to begin the study session purely for her sake. The phone calls between Ruri and Kashiro and the inner dialogue from Ruri adds to the suspense of the situation and the desperation she feels with such peer pressure on her shoulders. After Maeda, another classmate of Ruri's, expresses to her that she doesn't care enough about others, Ruri's point about her not deserving this much time and energy hits even harder. Like she hasn't treated enough people with kindness enough to have this many people wait on her like this. I feel like many people, school kids or not, have or will relate to this kind of situation, but having the kind of friends Ruri has, who will unconditionally have your back like this, is something nothing short of rare. Now, as an artist myself, I do have to admit I haven't dabbled much in the realm of character design outside of copying other characters, but I'm sure that I can come up with something here. The first thing I want to point out is Ruri's design. Aren't anything crazy, and they don't have to be in my opinion. However, Ruri's dragon horns are recognizable and essentially act as her trademark. That aspect and her eyes, as well as her blue hair, seen in volume cover art, are part of her signature look. The attention to detail Masaoki Shindo has in the story, that's barely 20 chapters long by the way, is something I've currently only seen in works by like Tatsuki Fujimoto for example, and to see that in a slice of life is refreshing. Earlier I mentioned Aoki's eyes and how they're interesting in terms of design and detail too. Throughout the story, the amount of detail going into drawing the eyes, and hair for that matter, is unexpected. A noticeable area of the character designs in the manga is the amount of hatching, cross-hatching to be exact, and as many artists may have realized, cross-hatching takes a very long time, and even longer if you want to create a gradient. With this in mind, you wouldn't think that this manga is a weekly. On top of this, I didn't even realize that Ruri's eyes change the slits once she breathes fire for the first time, until Maya then mentions it. I literally went all the way back to the first chapter to see if it was true, and yeah, it was, and I hadn't even realized. Once one of the more powerful dragon traits manifests in Ruri, her eyes change. This is more obvious when a new one of them is about to activate, as seen in chapter 18. There are certain moments where Shindo uses foreshadowing too. At one point, Ruri's friend Yuka compliments her on the vest she's wearing, a new look that's rare to see from Ruri. This not only symbolizes her willingness to change as a person, but it also sets for something 4 chapters down the line, where her horns become a hindrance and she accidentally rips through the very same vest. An over-analysis could determine that this is a symbolism for her ups and downs as a character, and her learning to treat others differently. I just thought this was something really smart from Shindo. All in all, I'm grateful for Masaoki Shindo's work, but a weekly manga has no business having this much detail, and yes, I'm jealous of the cross-hatching. Now, what lessons can we learn from RuriDragon? Well, here are the ones I've gathered. Light theory is something you might want to consider studying. Shading is an offshoot of that, and it pops up a lot in the story. Clean lines, as in very few strokes, is a big characteristic of Shindo's work, so it might be worth a try practicing using single lines, or better, deliberate lines. Ask why you're drawing a certain line, and once you're sure, place it down in as few confident strokes as possible. Since RuriDragon is a slice of life manga, expressions are vitally important to convey an atmosphere of a scene, so practicing drawing the face and various expressions using real life references as well as from other manga or anime may prove useful. I noticed that clothing also comes up as a focal point, or at least a key detail, quite a lot throughout the manga, and the way that Shindo draws folds and the clothing as a whole in perspective too is pretty impressive to say the least. In terms of manga aspects, Shindo really seems to double down on relatable characters, so that may be something to think about when trying to write a new character. If you want to see more manga analysis, consider liking the video. I did enjoy breaking down RuriDragon, so let me know in the comments what series I should do next, and subscribe so you won't miss it. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.